It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time to meet Team 253. Tom Crawford, my longtime radio partner, Bluebelly Tom. He is co-host of The Drive with Jack and Tom on the Team 92.1 FM, the Spotlight Radio Network, your home for We Are There Sports Radio, and we were a lot of places last week, Tom Crawford.
We just had the greatest week. When you go to Big Ten Media Days, and we had the Greater Lansing Sports Hall of Fame banquet. We did a remote on Thursday night. What a heck of a week, Jack. It was a lot of fun.
I think we did 33 interviews.
33 interviews. We learned a lot. We asked good questions, too.
Also want to welcome Deshaun Tate. Deshaun is a proud Lansing native, and he is an Atlanta-based writer and broadcaster specializing in all things basketball. Welcome home.
Oh, man, thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. It's like, it's official. I'm on The Drive with Jack and Tom, so it's official. And Graham. Appreciate you guys.
You've been on The Drive. Now you're on Press Pass, and you're headed to the Black Journalists.
Yep, National Association of Black Journalists. Yep.
Fantastic. Also want to welcome Graham Couch, sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal. He is a playground basketball legend and a firm believer that all sports have their seasons. Are you ready for football?
It's almost football season. I am not quite as honored to be here with you guys. Yeah, I am with Deshaun, but the rest of you I could do without.
Does football season really start in Chicago?
No, I don't believe so. I really think it starts when you start getting into practices. And in terms of a timeline, sure, NFL camps are starting, so in some ways it has. With college football this Thursday when Michigan State reports, for camp. And then really to me, though, it's when you start seeing the high school kids out there. Every high school you drive by, you see those kids in two-a-days.
It's a week from Monday.
That is when, to me, when football season really begins.
Yeah. Tom, I think it started for us the day the NBA Finals ended.
Yeah, we love college football, obviously, and and everybody's a winner at Big Ten Media Days. All 14 teams were, but it was fun to get some of the narrative and opinions of the certain teams from certain media people and coaches, and that's what we go down there for, to get those opinions.
Deshaun, it's funny that four guys who love basketball so much, and we don't have a pure basketball segment in the show tonight, but tons of football, and we talk about Halls of Fame here in Lansing and in Cooperstown. Congratulations to Alan Trammell and Jack Morris, the other four inductees, and of course the 8 individuals and the 3 teams who were recognized Thursday night in the 43rd annual Greater Lansing Area Sports Hall of Fame induction at the Lansing Center. We will be back, and we're going to talk about what happened in Chicago, Big Ten Football Media Days, and Kari Willis' speech coming up next on Press Pass.
Larry? Sorry, Larry's on the road again, but you can always find him at larrysrvservice.com. Take virtual tours, apply for financing, even schedule mobile service online. Let Larry find a great deal for you at Larry's RV in Jackson.
Larry, are you out there?
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Team 1 in Charlotte is celebrating Sign and Drive No Money Down, where you pay no money down on a new car. That's right, no money down on your next new car with Sign and Drive. Only from Team 1 in Charlotte. Find your next vehicle at team1charlotte.com.
Team 1. It's picnic season at Arby's. Each purchase of an Arby's Market Fresh sandwich includes a free picnic space. It's in the parking lot. It's a parking spot. Arby's, we have the meat.
Your paycheck can be gone before you know it. We're here to help save your hard-earned wages. Discovering deals that are too good to be true. Shining a light on scams meant to rip you off. Watch Don't Waste Your Money with John Matarese tomorrow on Fox 47 News at 10.
The 4 Battle for Stardom, Thursdays on Fox.
There's nothing like a road trip for making memories with family and friends.
And we want to help you make those memories with a new Graf Chevrolet. During the Graf Road Trip Sales Event, you'll save thousands of dollars
on a Chevy car or truck of your choice.
Right now, Graf Okemos will give you $2,000 more than the appraised value of your trade. Get a new Silverado, only $143 a month, or a new Malibu at Graf Okemos, just $138 a month.
Start your summer adventure in a new Graf Chevrolet
during Graf's Road Trip Sales Event
at a Graf dealership near you.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
We all have to make decisions. My father told me that, he used to always tell me that no matter what problem you face, there is a solution, and no matter what choice you face, there's opportunity to make the right choice. And at the university, Coach D always tells us it's a hard decision-making time for young people in the world today. And we look on our university, we look at, some of the decisions that we make as players, some of the decisions that we make as student athletes, as sons, as daughters, husbands, coaches. These decisions, some of them are final. But I draw back to what my father taught me, and that was to always be a part of the solution, regardless of what the problems are going on your university, within your community, within your family, within your house. And part of the solution that we're coming up with here at Michigan State is a solution of healing. And that solution includes listening, understanding, getting out of your comfort zone, sacrificing, putting your personal goals and personal aspirations to the side to make sure that the people next to you are better off and have a better opportunity for success.
That is Khari Willis, Michigan State senior defensive back, pride of Jackson. Deshaun Tate, you've been around a lot of athletes. You've seen a lot of people at the podium. Mm-hmm. How did Khari do as the representative for 42 players at the Chicago Marriott?
Well, I think he did a wonderful job. I mean, when you're looking at it, he got a chance to kind of speak and talk about, his life story, and talked about being, putting your personal, aspirations and some of those things to the side, because ultimately it's about the ultimate sacrifice and being about, first things first, a solution of healing, something that, not only people on the campus of Michigan State feels, but just something that we all can learn from all across the board here in America. I think that he touched on those very eloquently and very intelligently, and I think that's what spoke the most about it.
Graham, if this were a speech class and you were the instructor, what grade would you give Khari Willis?
Well, I couldn't see his feet if they were going back because he was behind the podium. That's how they used to test us in speech class. Like they videotape you and then they speed it up. But no, I thought he was really good. I thought he was an A performance. That's a very hard thing to do, and he's a natural at it.
And Tom, you were pretty impressed.
Well,
you said you thought he might have been better than Kirk Cousins.
I did in this regard. Kirk Cousins was too good. I mean, he was like a high-paid motivational speaker. Khari was more natural, and he engaged. His eyes were, he connected with his audience.
You can relate to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's about relatability. And I thought he did a terrific job.
A lot of the players in that room, I think, could.
Yeah.
Graham, let's take a look at the Big Ten's top 10 preseason list of the best individual players for this season. Who would you pick as the offensive and defensive players of the year, and will any Big Ten player be in New York as a Heisman Trophy finalist?
It's a good question. I really like Jonathan Taylor at Wisconsin. If he rushes for another 1,957 yards,
like the 4 NFL linemen in front of him.
That's the thing. He has the people around him. Is he that much better than L.J. Scott? I don't know, but he has the pieces. I think around him. I do think McSorley and Lewerke are wild cards in that. And if one of them has a big year, I think September 29th, you watch that game, it is Penn State, Ohio State. Yeah. That is sort of a separation Saturday, right? It's a chance to jump onto the radar for either one of those guys. And once sort of the bandwagon starts and the hype machine starts for a player, that's a chance for McSorley really to get himself to New York and be that guy. Defensively, I think Nick Bosa is a guy who is going to show up. Yeah. He plays a position that allows you to show up for a team that's going to be in big games. That would be my pick.
Tom, we talk about Jonathan Taylor. Chris Ash must be beside himself. The fact that he had Saquon Barkley and Jonathan Taylor verbally committed to Rutgers and couldn't hold him.
He needs to build a fence around New Jersey from now on. There's a lot of talent there. Yeah, he's going to be kicking himself for that. What a terrific player he is.
Easier said than done. Deshaun, how do you do that? How do you keep those players home when Michigan and Ohio State and everybody else comes in to get them?
Well, I think that it's more just a matter of when you're looking at, it from a standpoint of within, where it begins within recruiting and just staying true to who you are and staying true to, what everything has been pretty much based on.
Right.
Having a firm and a stable ground and just keeping true to who you are, not, changing up too many different things.
Right.
And just, I think ultimately that's what engages the players with many of the different programs.
Tom, 5 weeks from tonight, every Big Ten team will be 1-0 or 0-1.
Yeah.
Taking a look at the opening week schedules, who do you think is going to have a loss right out of the chute?
Well, I'm tempted to go, obviously, with Texas doing a little payback on Maryland.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go, I'm just going to go with the Northwestern-Purdue game, which is on a Thursday night Labor Day weekend. And
because they play each other, so there's got to be a Big Ten team that's
yeah,
all one.
That's why I'm going to that game. And what I'm saying is that Northwestern's going to survive that game, and Purdue is going to be that first one.
So Purdue will have a home loss.
Yeah.
What about that last game you see there, Grant? What about Michigan-Notre Dame?
The obvious one to pick this far out is Michigan at Notre Dame.
No, that's already a done deal. Wolverines. Northwestern's got all their defense back, and their offensive line got 7 guys that rotate
in. It's a done deal, huh?
It's a done deal.
We're going to put something on this.
If you're going to be 12-0, I guess you got to win the first one, right?
That's where it starts.
All right. Good. We'll be back in just a minute. Our Going Green segment brought to you by Graf Chevrolet, talking MSU football. Up next.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
New Lunch with Judge Judy. Weekdays at noon on Fox 47.
To all lovers of cheese, A&W has something for you. Cheese curds. Gooey, delicious, 100% Wisconsin white cheddar cheese. Golden fried to perfection. For a snack, for a side, for the love of cheese. Only at your local A&W.
The Shaheen tent sale's been extended. So have the incredible tent sale deals. And you can still enter to win a new Chevy Equinox. Just come register under the tent. We'll draw the winner of the new Equinox on August 1st.
Win a new Equinox only at the Shaheen Chevrolet tent sale.
You won't get it anywhere else.
Hey, that's my line.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet. Trusted friend with 104 years in the automobile business. Stop and see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you, as they have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf.
Yeah, he's gone through all those things. He's gotten to 6th year. He's able to play from that perspective. And I thought that the people need to heal, quite honestly. and our team needs to heal, and I think that's happened, and it's been an ongoing process, as I said. So I think we revisited this thing in the spring. I was asked a question about this. So this is not a new topic. This is something our players have dealt with and have been talking about and making decisions on it. There's a lot of reasons behind it, as much as anything from a Reschke standpoint or from his standpoint. I want him to be able to finish what he started. I want him to see himself through a difficult situation and come out the other end. I don't think that he wants to end his career in that way.
Michigan State head coach Mark D'Antonio, Graham Couch, the players apparently wanted John Reschke back with a second chance after use of the N-word. The black players voted unanimously. We understand that he should have that opportunity. What's the obvious plus, the danger, the minus here, and what's the lesson to be learned from all this?
Well, there is a lesson, and this goes to what Khari Willis was talking about, and healing, right? And this is, this speaks to a team that I think Mark D'Antonio thinks is mature. I'm not sure this team 2 years ago could have handled this sort of thing. Even a year ago, it would have been the same decision. The lesson is, though, there's a couple lessons. One, I don't know that this is a mistake by Reschke. It is, understand that all this stuff tends to get out. If you're a young person and we come from all sorts of backgrounds with all sorts of thoughts and all sorts of things. I mean, John Reschke comes from Birmingham, Brother Rice, right? You're talking 12% African American population there, and I don't think that's always the best way to come out as a worldly person, right? When you come into that, when you don't come out of a diverse background. But understand that about yourself when you get to a campus. There may be a way other people think, and understand you need to be part of more cultures. And then understand that if your first reaction when something goes really wrong and you're really angry is something that is a vicious and vile word that offends a lot of people, check yourself. Why was that your initial reaction? So I think internally it's with him. I think if Michigan State's black players were truly unanimous on this, truly wanted him back, it speaks to a maturity within that program. And I do believe in second chances, but I think that's really important. Otherwise, you do have potential issues.
Deshaun, could you have voted to bring him back?
If I would have, then I would have. But I just think at the end of the day, regardless of what the situation is, everyone makes mistakes. We're all human here. Realistically, you kind of sit back and you look at this person and you look at their character, and not only that, but how sincere you really believe, because it's a brotherhood at the end of the day. And so when you take all of those things into consideration, you have to say, you know what, let's go ahead and do this or do away with it. And I think that it is a good idea for him to be able to come back in the event that is very sincere.
Quickly, what concerns me a little bit, and we're getting a lot of this with Josh Hader, we're getting this with the Atlanta Braves pitcher who threw nearly a no-hitter today. And one of my issues is that there are so many young athletes that, and this wasn't the case in Reschke, but you're seeing on social media, why is this something that is a word? Why are these thoughts? Because when you're 17, 18, I get that you're a kid, but you're developed enough to know this is right or wrong.
You're an adult in my mind. He was done with 3 years of school.
And I'm talking about these other guys too, but all these guys, when you're a young person, but when you're 16, 17, you're old enough to know right from wrong. When you're, there's a real concern there.
I agree. All right. Tom Crawford, you were impressed by L.J. Scott, an Ohioan who got away from Ohio State. If he has the kind of year he can, what will it mean to Michigan State?
Well, he's a key element in my mind. I can tell when he sits down with an interview, it's going to be a good interview. He's very engaging with us, and I kidded him. I didn't kid him. I just flat out asked him about hold on to the football. Have you accomplished overcoming that problem? And he says he has, keeping it high and tight and working on his pass pro. So I really think he's going to have an outstanding year for Michigan State.
Deshaun, 19 starters back, plus both kickers. What does Michigan State do this year, and does Mark D'Antonio get the 10 wins he needs to pass Duffy Daugherty?
Well, I think it all starts, first and foremost with the defense, and that was their staple. That's what they've
got them all back. They've got 10 out of 11 back on defense. We'll be right back with more here on Press Pass.
I need you to make me a believer. Show me what you got.
Hit it!
It needs heat.
This is a chance for you to rise up.
This is exciting.
This truly was a battle for stardom. There can only be one winner.
What's the correct title?
Oh.
She guessed, oh.
Get after it.
Your kitchen's a war zone. I've only got 24 hours to turn this business around.
Why is he still single?
That's what I don't understand.
She's talented. She's incredible. She's my daughter, Corinne.
You absolutely crushed it.
Everything's spectacular.
You've been doing nothing but knocking it out the park.
Every night is family night. Last man standing.
Weeknights at 6:30 on Fox 47.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
The Knapp Center is a historical hub for future business growth in beautiful downtown Lansing.
The Ide Company did the best they could to preserve the integrity of the history of this building while incorporating a modern, open workspace.
They have been prompt, they have been efficient, and they really are a friendly, great group of people that we don't have any concerns about calling them for any of our needs.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Ide Company family.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies, Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango, and Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
The thoughts on the playoff system, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is more would be more. More would be better. You know, in the playoffs, 4 in right now. Let's go to 8 and eventually get to 16.
More would be more. I agree with that. Tom Crawford, what did you think of Jim Harbaugh's plan of having 16 teams in the playoffs? And last year, that would have put Michigan State and not Michigan in the first round of the playoffs.
That's right. You know, more is more. But listen, yeah, more. You stop at 8. You stop at 8. I mean, I don't agree with the 16. I agree with a lot of stuff Jim Harbaugh has to say. But you got to stop at 8. You get your 5 Power 5s. You get 3 at large. Yeah. You still have to make the regular season matter. Yeah. And the 8, going from 4 to 8, in my mind, will allow teams, Power 5 teams, to feel comfortable scheduling tougher competitions. So you're not going with all the cupcakes early on.
And if you've got 8, the 5 conference champions get in, the regular season does matter,
it does matter. You got it. Yeah. Like, it's perfect at 8, but like we say, it's going to take a while to get to 8. Right. But 16, no.
Sean, with 8, the conference races become more meaningful. Mm-hmm. You can have a non-Power 5, group of 5 team like Central Florida, and you can have a worthy runner-up. Sometimes we have a second team, for example, Alabama was not the champion. That's right. Wasn't even going to be considered until Wisconsin got beaten by Ohio State. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, 8 sounds pretty ideal. There's always, no matter what number that you put this thing at, there's always going to be that one extra team that on the outside that's going to feel like they were deserving and worthy enough. You know, I'm a basketball guy. They're going to start making it, 68 teams after some point? I think 16 is too many. I like 8.
We had a chance to talk to Karan Higdon in Chicago, and I'm wondering what he might be able to do this year with a functional offensive line and a quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over.
Well, I mean, I think that the quarterback not turning the ball over is probably one of the more bigger key things. I think we all can agree to that. The offensive line, I think, is still going to need some fine-tuning after Saquon Barkley leaves, and now all of a sudden, on paper, of course, we all know this stuff isn't one on paper. Right. Higdon looks like the guy. However, it'll be really interesting to see coming up this year.
Chris Evans is still there, too, so he'll get some of those carries. Graham, Karan Higdon or L.J. Scott?
I still think LJ, if he is if he has the line, what we've seen his ceiling in a phone booth, I still think LJ has a higher ceiling than most people are maybe thinking right now because of last year.
Taking a look at the Michigan schedule for this year, and it is rigorous. There's no question about that. Which is more likely? Tom Crawford's prediction of a perfect regular season for the Wolverines, or Rico Beard's promise of a second straight 5-loss campaign?
Well, the fact that it was just a prediction and not a promise from Tom, I think
you can't promise. There's no promises in life that you could.
Yeah, unfortunately for Tom, I think it's probably Rico's, just because, and hear me out here, if Rico had said 6, then it would split the difference, right? Because I think when you look, there are 6 losable games for Michigan. I don't think they're going to lose all 6. I just think there are 6. It's a tough schedule in the Big Ten. And if you split the difference on those with all the unknowns for Michigan right now, you got a 9-win team, which is closer to 7 than 12. So I would say Rico's is more likely. Both are absurd as predictions, but 9-3 is probably where it ought to be.
Yeah, 9-3. That's not good enough, Tom.
That's not good enough, and with they're simplifying the offensive line calls with Ed Warner. I think you're going to see a much better offensive line. Karan Higdon's going to get those holes, and then Shea Patterson, whoever's the quarterback, is going to be better than last year. And then that defense, it's the best defense in college football. We all know.
And you said last year.
Well, I don't think we all know that.
We all know that.
Could have just played, and the offense hadn't messed things up.
When you're turning the ball over, you're only throwing 9 touchdown passes all season long. You're turning the ball. You're 5-0 in the turnover deficit in the Michigan State game.
They need
win a game?
They need that defense though to become overwhelming. That really overwhelming. They've been great. They need to be overwhelming. And
but they could have been last year. But their offense turning the ball over, they wear down eventually, and that's what happened in the Wisconsin game.
Deshaun, that's one of the differences where you see SEC teams that live on the defense, but a Nick Saban offense doesn't turn the ball over 5 times in a game.
Correct. That's just one of those bigger things. That's what the SEC basically build their base on. It's all about the defense first and foremost. And I mean, granted, it makes a little bit of a difference when you start talking about quarterbacks and things of that nature because it's not nearly as balanced in the SEC. The defense definitely takes over there, but Alabama, they're strong rolling right now.
Tom, the other day on the Drive with Jack and Tom, we went through our fantasy draft.
Yeah.
And you had the Michigan defense, you had the Michigan kicker, you had a Michigan receiver.
Really objective.
Yeah, I guess I did.
Karan Higdon.
I did. But I took some other guys, though, I think.
But you had Trace McSorley.
I took Trace, quarterback. He's a known entity. And Brian, Lewerke, a close second on that.
What we didn't pick was a coach. If you had to pick a coach, who would you have taken?
Jim Harbaugh.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's why it's a flawed team. We will be back in just a minute, and we're going to talk about some halls of fame. We'll talk about the Greater Lansing Area Sports Hall of Fame and the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. It's induction week. We'll be right back.
There's nothing like a road trip for making memories with family and friends.
And we want to help you make those memories with a new Graf Chevrolet. During the Graf Road Trip Sales Event, you'll save thousands of dollars
on a Chevy car or truck of your choice.
Right now, Graf Okemos will give you $2,000 more than the appraised value of your trade. Get a new Silverado, only $143 a month, or a new Malibu at Graf Okemos, just $138 a month.
Start your summer adventure in a new Graf Chevrolet
during Graf's Road Trip Sales Event
at a Graf dealership near you.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
Yo, Fox is back on Fox! When the celebrities come, there's people singing and dancing. We're gonna have Smokey Robinson stop by. We got Bill Biv DeVoe, Demi Lovato, Genuine stopped by, Michael Bolton came by. Lance Bass in the building right now! Man, give it up for Shaq, man. What's up, everybody?
Beaches M is always star-studded because there's always big performers, big names that want to come by and be with Jamie Foxx.
I don't know anybody cool, and so my dad is like calling people, harassing people, stalking people to get them to come on the show. He's like in charge of that. Get a hold of yourself. Modern Family, nightly.
Weeknights at 6 on Fox 47.
We are so smart.
Why didn't girls like us in high school?
Because we were awkward and weird and couldn't play sports. Right again.
I've been cooped up in here too long. Maybe I need some fresh air.
about this? He's a poor man's Sheldon Cooper.
Oh, Tesla.
Here we are, building our own multi-wire detector like a couple of badasses.
I know, if we were still single, we'd be tripping over all that booty.
Sheldon? Sheldon? Sheldon?
It's a back-to-back Big Bang Bonanza, now starting at 7, here on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for Paving the Way, a new segment brought to you by McKerney Asphalt, your smart choice for all commercial and residential paving. Give Team McKerney a call at 484-3188, as I just did, and give your property a great new look. If not, it's no one's fault but your own.
Well, I could go on and on with these stories. The makeup of the team consisted of local high school players as well as college all-conference and all-American standouts. Let me finish by saying that as a team, these men played highly funded professional football team. Over 2 years, we won 28 games in a row and 30 without a loss. What a joy and an honor to coach these men. Seeing them recognized this way only confirms what I have known for years. They are the best. Thank you.
That was Coach Turf Kaufman.
Yeah.
At the Greater Lansing Area Sports Hall of Fame induction Thursday night, Tom Crawford, we had a chance to do the show from there, and that was big fun.
I went to many of Lansing All-Star football games on Saturday nights in the summer. It was a great event.
Yeah. Deshaun, you're a proud Lansing native, and everybody here, in fact, the three of you are graduates of the Lansing School District.
That's right.
But as someone who has deep roots in Michigan, what would it mean to be one of just 262 individuals, 57 teams that have been recognized as the best of all time?
Well, I think it kind of goes unsaid in terms of what an impeccable accomplishment that this is. And when you're talking about being put in some of the best category around, you know, not just the district, but just around the city and just overall, you know, being enshrined into that, I would just imagine is just absolutely mind-blowing. Something that you can not only tell your children, but your children's children and their children. Right. It's absolutely wonderful. I can only imagine.
Graham, we had honorees. Gave very short speeches. We had some that everyone knew. We had some that were blasts from the past, but there wasn't an empty seat.
Yeah, look, it's one of those things, right? It's to be recognized is forever, right? And that's why it means something. It means you did something in your hometown. And I think, you know, when you say the word Hall of Fame, I'm a Hall of Famer. There aren't many of us who get to say that about anything. You know, you might in media, you might in your own. I mean, and that to me is a big deal. And it also means, I think for a lot of these teams you come back on, you're appreciated, you're not forgotten. And those are things as humans we enjoy as time goes on, to be recognized for something we did in a place that matters a lot to us.
Tom, to see Lindsey Bowen come back from Campbell University where she's coaching, as excited as she was. E.J. Pasteur to come back after his wrestling brilliance. But to see Lucy Wiedemeyer come back from Los Gatos, California, of course, the wife of Charlie Wiedemeyer, and coaching with ALS from the golf cart all those years. It was very emotional to see some of these reunions. It was emotional, and then, you know, and it was fun to watch the Grand Ledge football team from 2000 meet in the hallway, and they're, you know, reliving the whole past and the storytelling. The stories are probably getting stretched out and from reality, and they're having so much fun. And I just think it's one of the best events that I attend, and what Bob Every and you on the committee and the other people do with this thing, it's amazing. I mean, that Lansing has something that's this well put together. It's first-class event through and through.
And it allows us to go back in time, right? For me, like a guy like Randy Kinder epitomizes high school football in this area. He was my youth in terms of watching greatness, and you get to recall that, and I think that's really cool.
And you see John Smoltz and Irvin Magic Johnson, national names in our hall. That's terrific.
Yeah. I remember very clearly that night in 2006, and my speech was actually longer than Pat O'Keefe's. Some people might not believe that. Not the one he gave the other night, but the one he gave in 2006. But you see people, maybe they're from out of town, they're staying in a Radisson hotel, they come over and they're looking at all these displays. And Bob Every's done an amazing job of putting this whole thing together.
It's all passion.
I think people get a feel for a little bit about what Lansing sports are all about.
No, that's important. And what presentation is everything, right? I mean, Cliff Huxtable taught us that, and quoting Bill Cosby isn't the really in thing to do anymore, but that's still a good lesson. And I think the Lansing Sports Hall of Fame has done that well.
Tom, 43 years we have had this. Going back to the Gerald Ford administration was when the first one happened in 1976.
Yeah.
And yet...
That was like your 60th birthday,
something
right?
like that, yeah, that was my present. But you still see so many people. Deshaun, we have these meetings, and they go hours trying to figure this thing out.
Because it's meaningful to those committee members. And when Bob moved it from Lansing Community College over to the Lansing Center, that was a big thing for the exposure for that.
And if anyone has someone they would like to see nominated, as Bob always says, just go to the website, LansingSportsHallOfFame.org, and just click on nominations. And you can suggest someone that maybe we've overlooked, maybe he's never been nominated. That's happened too. We've had a couple people, and then it's, oh, of course, that person's been nominated, and it isn't always that way. So,
you can type in Mike Ingram's name.
Right. Anyone wants to nominate Graham Couch, Tom Crawford, Deshaun Tate? That's the way you do it. All right, we'll be right back, and we're going to talk about baseball's Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, and finally, players from the '84 Tigers, Alan Trammell and Jack Morris. Maybe they're not done yet. We'll be right back here on Press Pass.
Looking for a used car? Then look to Shaheen Chevrolet. We have Lansing's largest selection of used cars and trucks. Late models, low miles, and no worries. Because our GM certified pre-owned vehicles come with a detailed history report, 2 warranties, and included maintenance. You even get free OnStar and XM radio, all at Shaheen's great low price. And find special internet deals at ShaheenChevrolet.com. You get a better used car deal because you get a better used car at Shaheen Chevrolet.
You won't get it anywhere else.
Michigan is definitely a very interesting place to forecast the weather. We have changing things all the time. Everybody wants to hear, what's the forecast for tomorrow? How is it going to be when I'm taking my kids to cheerleading practice at the end of the day? I'm from Howell, so I do really enjoy that I am still here in Michigan. I get to see my family all the time, something that I absolutely love. If I could choose one place to live for the rest of my life, love being here, love being in Lansing.
Gordon Ramsay's 24 Hours to Hell and Back, Wednesday on Fox. Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's motor coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Cowboys.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Retirement Protection Services and longtime area financial advisor Jack Vogler. Earn interest based on stock market performance with zero exposure to market downturns. Give Jack a call at 339-4777. That's 339-4777. I'm glad I did.
With Hall of Famers Alan Trammell and Jack Morris. Post-speech, you guys are two of the more competitive people I know. Who did better?
Jack.
Is it Karen?
I mean, it was a tie, but I mean, honestly, we made it, and I think it showed that we've been working on this for quite a while, John, and I thought it showed. So there's a big relief. You're taking a deep breath. I'm taking a deep breath. I know Jack as well is.
I think I speak for both of us. When you're prepared, you're not nervous. You're just anxious. You want to get out there and get it over with, and you want to do a good job. I think I reflect on this like a lot of day games that I pitched in. You wake up in the morning and you just can't wait for the game to start. You got a whole lot of time to kill before it starts. So you reflect on everything you want to. I went through my speech 3 times. I'm sure Alan did this morning himself. But when it's over with, you naturally decompress. You naturally go, next, go ahead, have fun.
Alan Trammell and Jack Morris took very different paths to upstate New York, but got there and joined their skipper, Sparky Anderson, at Cooperstown. Graham Couch, actually, I could almost hear your dad talking about Lou Whitaker and a couple conversations I'd had with him, and I think, as you mentioned, he kept coming back to that.
It was a fairly regular topic for him, Lou Whitaker in the Hall of Fame. And it is a question. I mean, I think when you look at those Tigers, Whitaker was such a big part of it. And individually, look, he stands on his own. I mean, you're talking about a second baseman, 244 homers, right. 276, a 367 on base percentage, more than 1,000 RPIs.
The second baseman
and if you
who are already in.
And you compare him to somebody who was beloved and in 13 years ago, in Ryan Sandberg, and it's really close. And Ryan Sandberg was much more of course he's in, right? And some of it's because he was a weird guy, right? He was a Jehovah's Witness. He was not. He wasn't Ryan Sandberg in the way he was beloved by other people, but still, Lou Whitaker belongs in the Hall of Fame, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen, though. I really don't.
Oh, I think it'll happen.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm still mad at the Detroit Tigers because on the wall in the outfield, they don't have a Whitaker Trammell designation out there. Maybe they should have it together. They should have
a Tramaker, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
They played more games together as a Keystone combination than anyone in baseball history.
Oh yeah, but I think Trammell. I mean, he is just a great person and a great guy, and and a great player. I just like all that. That's when you feel good about. Morris wasn't such a great guy early on, maybe with the media, but boy, he sounded good today. He sounded genuine, especially when talking about Sparky.
Tom, you're more of a football and basketball guy, as am I, but to see baseball honor its legends like that and bring them all back on that Sunday afternoon for a sport that is so immersed in tradition and history, seems like the right way to do it.
Well, it was, and it's in the middle of the year and everything, and but MLB I thought did a terrific job, and I watched more of that today than I ever thought I would. I mean, it was really good. Yeah. Chipper Jones. I listened to pretty much all the speeches. I had it on, and I think it was good for baseball. Baseball's under fire right now. Got speed the game up. You got to have a pitch count. Yeah. There's so many things that's being poked out. The game's boring. I like soccer better than that. So I thought the timing was right. The All-Star game was good. This was good. So I think MLB's had a good couple weeks here overall.
And a couple of managers, Deshaun, were there. Lance Parrish took the day off, and Bruce Bochy came in. And guys, hey, it's important when you have a former player like that. Doesn't happen often, and for some towns, Graham, it's once every 30 years you get a guy in.
No, I mean the Baseball Hall of Fame is, I think, still the most prestigious Hall of Fame. Maybe I mean you could argue the NFL, but there's something to it, right? It's a number sport. It's our oldest sport. And it's the sport that maybe there's the most debate about given the last 20 years in the steroid era. And the fact that right now we're starting to see a lot of those guys left out that would be otherwise. But I agree. I think they did it right. It's fun to watch a man decompress after he's had the greatest honor of his life.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really what you see in Jack
really
Morris
seriously,
right there.
And he was nervous, but they were all good today.
Deshaun, fandom is provincial by nature, in many cases tribal. What can we take from the other presentations today? We talk about Jim Thome and Trevor Hoffman, Vladimir Guerrero, and the guy who is as revered as anyone in the southeastern United States, Chipper Jones.
That name sounds extremely familiar to me in my region of the United States. But I think the main thing is just kind of, you know, embracing the abilities. Like this is something that's really special, you know. And I think oftentimes there's not enough, you know, special words that we can put on every individual player. That's not the same word. And I just think that it is that exactly that, super special. You're talking about embrace their unique abilities of these power hitters and power pitchers, and just we heard the word preparation. Preparation meaning absolutely everything. That's something that made all of these guys exactly that special.
Well, they all had a chance to say thanks, and I think that's important. And Chipper Jones did take a shot at John Smoltz about his 85 in the Senior Open. We'll be right back.
Check this out. Yeah. I'm telling you now. You look, sound like, move like. I'ma run out of horns. A young icon. Icon alert. I like that. When I pull out the candles, I need a vibe. I'm vibing. Another one. Protect the vibe. I need a vibe. Need that vibe. Hold on. Listen. Dapper Dan. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting. I can't take it no more. It's a cold world. Bundle up.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay in touch everywhere you go.
There's nothing like a road trip for making memories with family and friends.
And we want to help you make those memories with a new Graf Chevrolet. During the Graf Road Trip Sales Event, you'll save thousands of dollars
on a Chevy car or truck of your choice.
Right now, Graf Okemos will give you $2,000 more than the appraised value of your trade. Get a new Silverado, only $143 a month, or a new Malibu at Graf Okemos, just $138 a month.
Start your summer adventure in a new Graf Chevrolet
during Graf's Road Trip Sales Event
at a Graf dealership near you.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Everything that kept us paralyzed was nothing but a bad dream. I
don't want you. Mercy. Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
The thing about it is we've been here for a couple days practicing and going at it from the early training camp standpoint. So you're just really in mode, you know, for me, and just talking from my personal mindset right now, just trying to make sure everything's organized, just trying to make sure we're ready to go from a drill standpoint. It's obviously very new for me from a coordination of where our drills are, the field setup. It's a little bit different than the spring, you know, where the bodies are moving from period to period and coach to coach. And I just want to make sure that's at a high level. So that's really my focus, you know, I'm trying to small picture and little window to make sure everything's you know, at a high level.
First year Detroit Lions head coach Matt Patricia as practice begins in Allen Park. All right, Team 253. What can we take to the bank this week? Tom Crawford, what about those new-look Detroit Lions in the NFC North?
They are going to be a tougher team. I think Matt Patricia has already sent that message. We're going back to the basics. This is an old-school kind of a coach. And from, you know, from the mini camps and now from what we're hearing about practice, it's, you know, it's kind of going to be a in-your-face kind of coach. And I think that, along with the fact the running game, the 2 additions, is going to be something that it can depend on.
Yeah.
It'll take the pressure off Matthew Stafford. It's 11 wins for the Detroit Lions. I'm truly confident that they're going to win 11 games, get in the playoffs. Might not win the division, but 11 wins.
Deshaun, Bill Belichick assistants have not done well. Their first time they get a head coaching job. You buying 11 wins?
I'm not. I think that's a bit much for me personally. But you were talking about a couple of things that you could only really guarantee in this situation. I think if you're talking about no guarantees, I don't think you can guarantee a Super Bowl. I don't think you can guarantee a win in the playoffs either.
Okay.
And I can guarantee that number 20 and number 81 is not going to walk through that door. So in that case, I like to see the Lions probably realistically maybe getting a wild card and then probably losing at that point.
Well, they had wild card bursts and lost in that point. They've had one playoff win since 1957. You don't see this changing immediately or anytime soon?
I feel like it can happen a little bit soon. I don't think that this will be the year. Tom talked about dependability within the backfield of the two new additions. I think that that's something that can help push them over the hump. Again, another no guarantee. I don't think that there will be a 1,000-yard rusher. I think that's something that ultimately is what's going to have to happen if this team right here is going to have to go.
Graham Couch, what can we bank on with quarterbacking in this division if Aaron Rodgers is the green and gold standard? Who's going to have a better year? Matthew Stafford with the Lions or Kirk Cousins with the Vikings?
Matthew Stafford's the better quarterback. Okay, let's make that clear. Okay. He is a top 8 quarterback in the NFL. Kirk Cousins is a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. There's a difference in tiers, I believe, depending how you break up the tiers. But Matthew Stafford doesn't have Kirk Cousins' defense on the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
And I think Matthew Stafford will be, or Kirk Cousins will be on a better team. He'll be in bigger games. Look, his tendency to turn the ball over, I worry about, but I would say Kirk Cousins has what appears to be the better year. He's still not the better quarterback.
And I think Kirk Cousins had to do things with the Redskins. He had to take chances.
He did have to.
He won't have to take those chances.
That's a really good point, Jack. You don't have to gamble. He doesn't have to make plays. Just kind of manage the game a lot of times.
What's a good season for the Lions, Tom? You said 11.
Yeah.
Is 9-7 good enough? Would 10 be good if they don't do anything in the playoffs?
Well, you mean if they not get in the playoffs, or
they get to the playoffs and lose as they normally do?
I think that that would be a good enough right now. But they got to get in the playoffs. They got to win at least 9. But
you got to win a playoff game. You're at the point.
That's your number 2 for Matt Patricia. But I still think they're going to win 11
Until you win a
games.
playoff game, it's not because we've done everything else, right? Watching the Lions, they've done everything else.
They've been on this treadmill. I'm still seeing an 8-8 team. We'll be right back with our Cool and Smooth Weekly Awards brought to you by Culver's up next on Press Pass.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's motor coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Meet Mike Baxter.
Now, I may be a man with strong opinions, but my family means the world to me.
Can I have some money for Java Jimmy's?
You want money? Maybe you should do what other people do.
Get my own reality show. Dad, I'm trying.
How about a part-time job?
Job? Oh my God, are we poor?
You are. You're doing very well. It can't be easy living with a guy who's always right.
Just so you know, sex is determined by the male.
If that were the case, we'd be doing it right now.
Last Man Standing.
Weeknights at 6:30 on Fox 47.
Working with the Eyed Company, 1, is very easy to do. 2, they're very responsive to our needs. And 3, as we've grown as a company, they've listened to those needs and they've helped us plan out our future in terms of growth that needs to be done at this location.
It's just comforting to know I'm working with the Eyed Company, knowing that they can accommodate our growth. In that way, they're an excellent partner.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Eyed Company family.
The only game is the one you're playing.
The votes are in.
You better bring it.
Everybody's falling in love with Pickler and Ben. Bam! More fun. More Kelly and Ben.
I didn't know you could get down like that.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
More of your favorite stars.
Do people go ballistic when they see you?
And more.
You never know what's going to happen.
Of the unexpected.
Oh my.
Y'all are not going to want to miss this.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious. There you see the Hall of Fame class of 2018. Suits off and just enjoying their day. It was their day, too. There you see Chipper Jones, Jim Thome, more than 600 home runs, and the most walk-off home runs in baseball history. So it was a great day for all of the Hall of Famers, not just those from the Detroit Tigers. Team 253, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Deshaun Tate, how about our play of the week?
I think this is where I'm going to go with Jim Harbaugh and his comments on the 16-team playoff.
Okay.
It's probably the most ridiculous thing that I've heard all week. I think that it makes for one of the more memorable things that we've heard all week.
Okay.
And somewhat of a little bit of an excuse for a 5-4 and just looking for an extension for an opportunity at the playoffs.
Uh-oh, Tom, you're not buying that one.
I'm a pincushion. I mean, I can take it all. So, but I'm not. No, I'm not buying it. I mean, I think it was. I mean, I'm not buying into the 16 teams, but I am buying into 8. Definitely.
All right.
We got to expand the field.
Graham Couch, what about our game of the week?
Game of the week. Remember Jimmy Fredette?
Oh yeah.
Team Fredette in the basketball tournament.
Oh, I know what you're watching today.
He had 41 points the other day in the round of 16. Today, 28, a quiet 28 in the quarterfinals to get to the semifinals.
Better than Moneyball defense played in this?
Better than Moneyball. Yeah, more at stake.
It's way better than Moneyball.
And it makes you, when you watch him, you wonder if an NBA team couldn't use him. Like the Pistons can't shoot. How is this guy not have some value? And you know who else is on that team? Brandon Davies, the guy who was kicked out of BYU for having premarital sex with his girlfriend. That was a BYU team in 2011 that might have gotten all the way to the Final Four, I think, had that not happened. BYU's honor code cost that the greatest BYU team in history. But you know what? You know what you're signing up for when you go there, right?
Absolutely. Tom Crawford, what about our team of the week?
The team of the week, you might think this is strange. I'm going with the Detroit Tigers. It's not for what they're doing on the field right now because they're like 16 under 500, but what happened in Cooperstown today with Alan Trammell and Jack Morris, I think, and the fan following was amazing. And the story, the speeches of those two individuals talking about Sparky, it really showed how much love and passion there is in Tiger Town. And the Tigers chanting, go get them Tigers, and all that stuff from the audience. I thought it was a good day for the Detroit Tigers to get away from the fact they're sub 500 and not going to make the playoffs.
Well, we knew if the Tigers were the team of the week, it wasn't going to be for an 8-1 loss to Cleveland, right?
Right. Yeah, no. I mean, it's the Detroit Tigers, the franchise, not the team.
Yeah. I think you could look at the team of the week as all of the Hall of Fame inductees in Cooperstown and the ones here in Lansing. I think they're still celebrating down at the Lansing Center. For our player of the week, I thought maybe we would have a no-hitter today. Like 2 outs in the 9th inning. I thought that would be interesting on the day of the Hall of Fame. Didn't happen. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of the week and Tuesday afternoon at the Chicago Marriott and Khari Willis. And the reason I say this is, if you know Khari Willis's story, he's 7 months old and they rush him to Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor. They don't think he's going to live. He has a fever of 108 degrees. His parents are ready to bury their child. He recovers, 6 years old, 2 days after Christmas. He's wearing a suit, and his friend has been beaten to death by his mother's boyfriend. So many things that he had to go through to get where he is. Resilience, perseverance, leadership. He's going to be a captain on this Michigan State team. He's going to be a really good one. Want to thank Team 253, Tom Crawford, Bluebelly Tom, and by the way, tomorrow we have Herman Edwards on.
That's right, 305, right out of the chute.
Very happy to have Deshaun Tate visiting from Atlanta. Always great to see you, Deshaun.
Right, thanks, man.
And Graham Couch, sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal. Great piece on L.J. Scott. I appreciate that. We'll be back next week, everyone, with Team 254. Have a great weekend.
The Shaheen tent sale's been extended. So have the incredible tent sale deals. And you can still enter to win a new Chevy Equinox. Just come register under the tent. We'll draw the winner of the new Equinox on August 1st.
Win a new Equinox only at the Shaheen Chevrolet tent sale.
You won't get it anywhere else.
Hey, that's my line.
Welcome to The Blend.
I'm
Bob.
Meet Bob.
This morning on The Morning Blend, I'm Mary Turner.
I'm Bob Hoffman.
Meet Mary.
We're glad to have you joining us this morning.
You never know what's going to happen on The Blend.
It's not every day you wake up with a pig.
Start your day off right with The Morning Blend.
It's a fun night out.
Catch The Morning Blend weekdays during Fox 47 Morning News at 7.